Hablando entre Mujeres, tu programa que es diseñado para toda mujer que le gusta avanzar, que está esperando mucho más allá de ser tú misma. Hablando entre Mujeres todos los días martes a las 7 de la noche, acompáñanos a tener una noche amena. So for you that you're listening, Hablando Entre Mujeres, Talking Between Women is the program you want to belong. Just come every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and we'll be gladly give you some details about women empowerment. Muy buenas noches a todos mis amigos, a ustedes que están escuchando hoy Hablando Entre Mujeres, aquí con Rosmarie Sánchez, en esta transmisión que nos trae 12 LINEA TV y por supuesto nuestros aliados como Al Día Media, Al Día Radio, que está también dándonos esta oportunidad de ser compartidos en Estados Unidos, Miami, por supuesto Ohio, México con Oaxaca, Colombia y Perú. Y nuestro otro aliado, Universus Radio, quien siempre está de la mano con nosotros allá en Morelia. So just want to let you know this program tonight is going to be broadcasted in English. We have a very special guest that I'm just so thrilled, so happy, so blessed, and so thankful he said yes to come live with the show Hablando Entre Mujeres. And as I'm going to talk with him, there will be times where I'm going to speak in Spanish. You just have to hold with me there. But it's going to be more interaction into English tonight. So I just wanted to let you know that also we had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. So many things that we have done this weekend. And we went to Ottawa. Yes, we were in Ottawa having this program with the charity of Jake House. And I was even interviewed by City TV. I was so happy about it. I had my knees in my arms and I said why Jake House is something that people must be involved. The reason why they work with kids that are in the condition of autism, and why not giving them such a happy time for Christmas? Yes, they deserve it. So I was there in Ottawa, and then I came to Toronto, which I had a difficult road time, but perhaps I'm here, and I'm here to join you, to have you, and complete with this interview that I'm doing to Loren Harris. Now, Loren Harris is such a wonderful man. I should say that. That's the first thing I should say about him. I should let you know that his story is impactful, and that's why you're here. You want to know who he is. And his story will be given to you by a video that he broadcasted in Goldcast. Also, we will tell you more why he broadcasted this video. And out of his story, there's something meaningful that you should listen to. This is for every woman out there. Tonight is a Women's Day. And the reason why is because the choice of giving birth is so necessary in the world. But it's always a complete work if we follow what we should be as mother. So I'm so glad that Loren Harris is with us tonight. And I'm going to welcome him. Hi, Loren. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very, very well. I'm very happy that you're in the program tonight, that we are able to bring you, and people will see who you are. They will know your story, and they will also be influenced, because life is about getting influenced or getting to know others people, life experiences to be a better person. What do you think about that, Loren?
Amen, sister.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes. And you could have told me I was already visible. I thought I was like backstage or something. I'm sitting here on my phone, probably, I didn't know they could see. Well, I'm glad I was just on my phone. I'm excited to be here. It is such an honor.
Thank you. Thank you. My honor is for you, the time that we're having here, and to tell the world, you know what, life is difficult sometimes, but after every different experience we go through, there's always something good at it. And we should be, really thankful sometimes, even though it's not the best choice. What do you think about that, Loren?
I think we should be thankful all the time.
I agree with you.
All the time. Count it all joy. Everything that happens. There is an ooey gooey chewy center somewhere in there that has at least a little bit, the granule of a sand, a little tad bit of joy. A little bit of joy is better, will outdo a whole lot of other stuff, negativity, all those other things. So you'd be surprised at how powerful just a one grain of joy can be. So I look for that in everything I can. Is it easy? No. Does it always work? Not so fast. But eventually, it all begins to make sense and it all starts to come together because of
Wow.
joy, because of purpose.
Wow, wow, wow. I think you gave a very amount of information that's so useful. And I'm sure people that's watching tonight, that's listening, because this program is broadcasted internationally. There a radio called Aldea Media, who's who's listening to the story. And they're broadcasting in United States, Colombia, Peru, Mexico, and Venezuela. Also,
Oh my
we
God, I'm so honored.
well, that's what it is, right?
Right? Oh, this is so exciting. Rosemary, I love you.
Thank you, thank you. I love you. Those
I
I love you
appreciate you doing
also.
this.
What can I say? And because
Yes.
things evolve for reasons. If you see here the book, which is a spiritual fitness survivor, which is a collaboration of 26 authors, including myself here. Who thought that after this edition will be coming a next edition, which is also an edition where you're going to be giving your story, your impactful story, and this is uniting us. We don't know when in time really we're gonna be in that process where both will be aligned, and I think this is what's happening here. What can you say about that experience?
Oh, purpose. It's, I believe in divine appointments. I believe in the law of attraction. And I believe that every step we take has a number and it has a place where we belong. And when we come together, the promise says that we're two or more people. Well, I'm looking at me. I know I'm one, and I'm looking at you, so that makes two. So that is the guarantee of the universe of what is greater than us, that something wonderful is possible. All we have to do is believe it to achieve it. That's it.
Wow.
That's it. So I'm so glad and grateful because Rosemary, every one of us has a story.
100%. A hundred
Every
percent.
single one. And here's the deal. I want you all, I'm going to look directly at the camera, and I want you all, as we get ready to go around the corner of the future into the year 2020. You know how people will ask you, what's your why? Why do you do what you do? What's your why? I want you to look them straight in the eye, and I want you to answer them like this. My why is the why that you will find on the end of the word legacy. The
Wow.
why that's on the end of the word legacy, because that is the only why that matters. When you put that why on the end of that word, it means you have left something in this world. You have created something in this world. You are doing something within this world that can go on and on and on, long after we have gone on and on and on. Because one day our fingerprints, Rosemary, and our DNA is going to go. When we go to the grave, it goes with us. But what gets to stay behind? Telling our story. Our story.
That's right. That's right.
It's
And I'm sorry I just cut you there, but you know what? It's important because they say that the greatest dreams of a human being, they are inside that grave. People did not achieve what they really wanted.
a lot of dreams die with people.
Yes.
They
Yes.
absolutely do. They absolutely do. For a number of reasons. It's very sad, but it doesn't have to be. And I know all of us here, we're not going out like that. None of us, right?
Yeah. None of us.
None of us are going out like that. We're all going to make a difference in this world. It keeps making a difference when we've left this world. That's why
Exactly.
we're here.
Exactly right. And that's why I want to show the video that impacted my life, a
Oh,
video that really showed me grace, a video that I never thought I was gonna get into my nerves, in my body, my system, and my soul, inside my spirit. When I watch about your story, It is so important for people to see that out of the dark, there's always a light. And I think
Yes.
that's something I have to bring to empower women and men that are watching. And that's why I want to bring this now, if with your permission, because I'm sure that giving this will bless so many people. You said in your story, in your biography, that out of your life, you got 22 mothers.
Yeah.
Wow. And when you listen to that, the first thing that came to my mind was, how come? How come? There is a story behind. And that's what I want to really, for you, watch tonight. Let them know what's going on in the world, but not only because it's going on, it's because it's finished, but at the same time made a difference in such a great human being we have tonight, which is Loren Harris. And with your permission, Loren, can we go to that video?
Roll it.
Roll it over. So stay tuned and watch it up.
Si quieres la mejor opción, sabemos que tu casa es tu mayor inversión. Marcela Cano, Carlos Zuluaga. Si quieres vender o comprar, tu casa es nuestra prioridad.
Para mayor información, 647-297-0506 y 647-404-2171.
On July 4th, 1962, I found myself in the lost and found of mankind. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that it wants to be there. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that the person who lost it doesn't care for that lost item. And just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that someone will ever come to claim it. I am only one child, but in total, there were 22 mothers. 22 individual women who saw something totally different from the other each and every time they looked at me. 22 different faces that I would either squeeze with all my might to remember in times of pain, heartbreak, or misery, or to push away with all my might to forget. Mother number one, well, she fulfilled her initial duty of escorting me into this life, of keeping me safe for 3 weeks, of nurturing me for just as long as she could. Mother number one entrusted me to mother number two. Mother number two, well, she fulfilled her initial duty of caring for me as if I were her own. She raised me for the next 11 years in an environment that was filled with love, security, and hope for a brighter tomorrow. She intended with all her heart to return me one day to mother number one when the time was right. But where love for me grew deeper by the second, well, that right time never came. I believe she would have made better choices had she known that she would unexpectedly depart this world without having made any provisions for my return to mother number one. I believe she would have died all over again from a broken heart had she seen me handed off to mothers 3 through 22, courtesy of the roulette underworld, otherwise known as the state foster system. During my 5 years of bouncing throughout the foster system, I became more and more lost. By year 5, I was acutely aware that the loss of my family, my home, my name, and my entire world as I had known it was nothing compared to what I could lose if I did not decide soon, and very soon, to better deal with my existence within the lost and found. To this day, I truly believe that it was in my seeking to find the good in all 22 of my mothers that enabled me to begin to loosen the harness of self-doubt, shame, and all that hurt that was associated with the abuses I had experienced in life so far. The 21 mothers that were responsible for my care after the departure of mother number one. Well, they either taught me what a mother should always represent, or they reminded me of how not all women are capable of the true honor of being called a mother. I shall never forget the moment, after 32 years of seeking, when an old neighbor called to inform me that, yes, she did in fact know the woman who could very well be my birth mother, the original, my very own Eve. The neighbor went on to tell me that she needed to call the woman first because she needed to ask if it was all right to give me the telephone number. After all, she said, not everyone wants to be found. Well, after 32 years, this was the moment when it dawned on me. It dawned on me that this entire quest, this adventure that had been so persistent, such a persistent part of my life, could very well have all been in vain if mother number one did not wish to be found. But this wouldn't be much of a story if that were true now, would it? Mother number one had kept her memory of me alive and vibrant for all of those 32 years. Mother number one did indeed wish to be found, and she opened the door to her past, her home, her heart, and to my original family, simply because she told me we were once one person. We shared over 20 wonderful years together before we were separated a second time in this life by her death, which for me came far too soon. In finding mother number one, I found so much of what life is truly all about. I found that family is based on love and not merely on blood. And I found that I was never truly lost. I was merely finding my way. When I found mother number one, I also lost some things. I lost the square root of much of the true sadness that had been in my life. I lost that relentless commentator that resided within me, the one who would broadcast one tragedy after another if I allowed him to do so. But most importantly, I lost the belief that my having 22 mothers was something to be ashamed of. I did not realize it then, but trust me, I do now. Each of these women played the role they were chosen to play in my life. None of the 22 ever truly had control over whether I belonged or not. That call would always be left up to me to make. It was when I broke out of the walls of self-judgment that I discovered my greatest truth of all, that not everyone has to remain lost. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. I'm just so blessed. When I looked and watched this video, my heart felt something important. I'm a mother of two. And as I am a mother, I am certainly none that a human being should deserve care and love and kindness. And seeing this video, I know for a fact what happened to Loren was not something he intended in his life, was something that was crucial in his life. But thereafter, all these experiences that touch his heart, change his behavior, and seek for answers, got a final answer for him. And that's why I'm so happy that today we have Loren Harris with us tonight. And I shall say that because life is about abundance and choices, tonight you're here, no by coincidence, tonight you're here for a purpose. Thank you. Thank you to all of you that are watching and listening. Thank you because you made our day different. Thank you because the love and support we're handling tonight to you and to every listener, it's something that will be embraced and change your life. Thank you for that. And I shall say, Lawrence, if you're watching, please come in. We are fine for you to come in again. Thank you, Lauren. I just want to mention something really important. The sponsor tonight of this program, Hablando Entre Mujeres, Talking Between Women, is Emilia Roman, Daniela Roman, with a spiritual fitness survivor. And the name of their business, which is involving this book, is the Co-Author Network. Why he's a sponsor? He believes in all I do for you guys. So I please ask you, if you want to be part of the book, part of the publishing company, if you also want to have this book in your hands, we are giving the book to the audience who wants this book tonight. So leave a comment and I'll be gladly giving this book with my signature. And also once we have the second edition, which is Loren in it, he will also give you his signature. So, and perhaps my beautiful look, it is given by May Hair Design. And I should say that they do a beautiful work. They're located in Eglinton and Huron, Ontario, here in Mississauga. And I chosen this person because I believe in what they do. Every time I go, they have excellent customer service. They have different people attending, and the prices are really convenient. And if you go and say, I'm coming because Hablando Entre Mujeres program, Joanne, who's the owner, will give you and honor you with a discount for your hair and all needs that you have. So thank you, Joanne. Hair Designs at Eglinton and Huron, Ontario, here in Mississauga, a sponsor of the program Hablando Entre Mujeres. Thank you, Lauren. Are you there?
I'm here.
Thank you so much. As I'm pleased to brought you back in and we watch this video, I want to ask you a question. When you see it again, what do you feel? And how do you feel?
That's a really great question. Never been asked that.
Oh, wow.
I've never been asked that. And I show this video quite often when I'm speaking from the stage in different places around the world. And every single time I watch it, even, you know, I'll be off to the side, kind of hiding behind a curtain or a pole or something at the back of the room, kind of watching them watch the video. And I always have to turn my back, kind of just have a moment. Because, you know, the wonderful thing about the truth, Rosemary, is that it never changes. It never changes on us. And this story is my truth. And so every time I see it, it feels like I'm hearing it and watching it and experiencing it for the very first time.
Wow.
I learn something from it every time that I didn't know before. It empowers me and makes me a better person in a way it never did before. And I'll tell you, it is amazing for me to watch that story now. Because until I looked over, it's fun. You're good. I'm just going to say you're a good interviewer, because my chapter in the book,
yes,
is not this video that you see.
Yes.
It's how I got to that point to be on that stage that night. That night changed my life.
Wow.
That was the very first time I came clean and told 700 people, strangers, my story. It was as if, you know, I had a scarlet letter of shame on my body. And that night I ripped it off.
Amen.
And, you know, my life since that moment, this video that we just saw has had over 14 million views.
Wow.
Worldwide. Over 14 million people have sat and experienced what we just did. That night when I was on that stage, Rosemary, I really, before my turn came, because there were other speakers that night, we were all on the stage together sitting in chairs. I literally tried to get up and leave 3 times.
Wow.
I was so afraid of what people would think. I imagined all kinds of things in my mind that people would boo and say, "Get off the stage," and "Who cares?" and "Yeah, right, likely story." I thought every negative thing you could possibly think because I had worn my truth as a badge of shame for 4.5 decades, 45 years.
Wow.
hmm And you know what happened? I mean, look, I mean, that video started my career as a speaker. That was my very first time on a stage telling my story.
Wow.
Last week was my 817th time in 3 years that I stood
Wow.
on a stage and worked my story for the betterment of everyone. I'm telling you what, every single one of us has a story. The things that we hate the most about ourselves, about our past, about our families, about our financial situation, everything that we want to go like this and hide our face and no, don't ask me. Those are the things that will change your life in ways you could have never imagined. Every pain you've ever lived,
Wow.
every pain you've ever lived will open doors of opportunity that you could never believe. If you hadn't gone through it, couldn't have gotten to it.
Wow. And I shall say that when I read your story on your biography, and it says the breakthrough coach is meant to be, it's totally meant to be. That's a breakthrough. I think it's so aligned to your story that that's why you can be a coach today. We had to pass so many wonderful stories and so many sad stories like you did. Perhaps I'm saying myself too, because when we outpour ourselves there, we are in the mirror of people's life. But one thing that I shall say is that your story, my story, everybody else's story
Mhm.
has a meaningful purpose. And that
Everybody.
purpose, yes. And that
You know,
purpose is what you're giving tonight.
it is. And Rosemary, and I did it to you. I got you. We're a good team. I don't want to forget to say this because you would just watch the video where we talked about my birth mother, the
Yes.
one who, my very first, my very own Eve, because
Yes.
she was the first. It took me 32 years to find her, and she never gave me away. She just entrusted me with some people for a short period of time, and they fell
Wow.
in love with me and could not refuse. They could not give me back. So they
Wow.
told, it's the truth. They told her that I had died. And so for all those years, she had a letter that said, "Your baby died." But that day that I knocked on her door 32 years later, when I went inside and we sat down, she goes, "I knew you'd come." And I said, "But how'd you know that?" And she went to her room and she got the letter. And I said, "But this letter says that I'm dead." Now I really want to know. How did you know I would come? And that's when she said the line that you saw in the video, when she said, "I knew you were not dead. I knew you would come because you and I were once one person."
Wow.
And I want all women out there who are mothers that may have had someone else had to raise your child. There are people right now in families where their mother is what they call their aunt, where their mother is another family member. Somebody else has raised them. There's all these secrets. You may be adopted. You may have given up, a child. That night on that stage, 3 times I lost my place when I was speaking
Wow.
because 3 different women in the auditorium, 700 people, 3 different women just wailed. They cried out in pain. I didn't know if I still wonder to this day, did one of them lose a baby? Did one of them give a baby up for adoption? Did one of them
Wow.
what? But there was some pain. Only a mother can make that sound.
Yes.
Only a mother can make that sound that I heard. And my mother, she said to me, Rosemary, 20 years after I knocked on her door, when I was, You know, that was the beginning. She told me all that. I knew you would come because you and I were once one person. She said that in the first 10 minutes that we knew each other.
Wow.
20 years later, I was the last one of my siblings to go into her room to say goodbye to her because we knew she was transitioning. She was on hospice.
Okay.
And she turned over and she looked at me and she was blinking her answers at that point. 1 for yes, 2 for no. But she kept asking me to come closer, and I put my ear as close as I could. And she said, I told you I would be the happiest woman in the world. I was the happiest woman in the world when you knocked on my door. And I told you that day that I would be able to die a happy woman. She goes, today is that day. She goes, but I'm also kind of sad too. And I was like, why?
Wow.
I mean, she goes, I'm sad for you. And I really said, why? And she goes, because I've seen where God is taking you.
Wow.
And you're going to be you're going to be very sad many days doing what you are chosen to do in this world. And I said, why? And she said, because you will always have expectations for other people greater than they have for themselves.
Wow.
In other words, I will want joy and happiness for somebody more than they want it for themselves. I will be able to see things inside of people that I know that they can change the world if only they had the courage. This book, the chapter that I am putting in there is entitled Finding the Courage to Look Over Your Shoulder.
Wow.
And what that chapter is about was the moment that night on that stage. I found the courage to look over my shoulder to the life I had already lived. I've already lived it. It must mean that it's for a reason,
Yes.
not just for me to keep it hidden, you know, hiding it away, squirreling it away, keeping it from the world out of whatever false sense of pride or shame.
Wow.
That was the night I decided to come clean and let it go. And I gave it away. And here we are just 3 years later. And because I found the courage to look over my shoulder to the life I live and tell my story in all of its truthness and all of its glory, everything you see behind me, an album deal, magazine covers,
Yes.
my own events, front pages of newspapers, on and on and on. I didn't go out and make any of that stuff happen.
Wow.
All of that stuff happened because I stood behind my truth and said to my truths, here is a door of opportunity. You go first.
Wow.
When we do that, Rosemary, you know what happens when we allow our truth to go first? No matter what, if you're willing to say, if they call me
Yes.
names, if they heckle me, if they boo me, if they spit on me, whatever they do, they did the same thing to Jesus.
Yes.
They did all those things.
Yes.
If you let your truths go first, what is greater than you? Jesus Christus, God,
Yes.
whatever you call it, universe, it will walk before you.
Amen.
It will stand beside you. And it will cover the rear behind you so that you don't have to worry about things you cannot see.
Wow. Loren, I just can't say nothing. It's like you're talking, you're giving me your wisdom. I take it, and I'm sure people who's watching and listening feel the same way. You're giving what the world needs. We need the truth, and the truth shall set you
Oh,
free. You know how many times we put a face into another's people's life and we lie to ourselves and to each other and to everybody because we want to be somebody who's trusted, somebody that's been the source for other things. But the first thing that has to come through you is who you are. It's what
yes.
you believe in, how you want things working in your life. I said something very important, and I'm so happy that you interviewed me before, and I'm glad
Yes.
that you did. I'm so thankful for that. I was interviewed at the BATHROBE Moments, which is your program daily, at 8 o'clock your time, 9 o'clock my time in the morning
Yes.
on
Yes.
Facebook. And I think it's such a wonderful purpose you have there, because you touch the life of millions of people. Millions. And I shall say millions because you said that you've been in 870 different stages giving your story. And because you're a breakthrough coach, when you talk to people, people can see the reality of their own life. And that's what happened to me. That's what really happened to me. And I'm so happy, so thankful, so grateful. I'm writing a book called Breakthrough, Changing the Pattern of Poverty. And as I said to you in this book, my breakthroughs are coming along while I'm writing the book. But there's nothing that is a mistake. Nothing in life is a mistake, it's a purpose. And now that you're talking about breakthrough, it does really entitle my life, your life, and the people's life who's watching and listening. I see that you being, like you said, in newspaper, magazines, even Larry King, show,
Yes.
NBC. I mean, out of
Yes.
all this happening to you, when do you think, my God, this is really happening? Because as my own life, I listen to people who said, thank you for changing my life. But
Yeah.
we don't realize that until things happen. When did that really start happening to you, that you said, this is a real moment where I believe what my purpose is conquering the world? When did that happen, Loren?
Oh, wow. Another great question. You're good.
Thank
You're
you.
really good. I mean, because I do this every day for people come on my show, and you're good.
Thank you.
I can tell you exactly when it happened. I can tell you exactly when it happened.
Tell me.
I was on a bus on a way to training for a new job. I was living in a shelter, homeless. The clothes that I had on and the clothes that I had in my suitcase, I hadn't paid for them yet. They came from Goodwill. And I went there and I told them, I just got out of jail. I just decided to turn my life around after a 12-year drug addiction. And I don't have anything. What can I do to get clothes? Because someone says they want to hire me. And I have to go to training and I need to have business attire and I have nothing. And they made a deal with me and said, when you come back, come and volunteer so many hours a month and we'll call it even.
Wow.
And the Salvation Army shelter that I lived in packed me food for a week. The training for this job was for a week. There were 4 of us that were coming to this training for a week. I have a high school diploma. The other 3 people, all 3 of them had 2 master's degrees each. And I was on a Greyhound bus headed from Michigan to Illinois to go to that training. And I reached in my pocket and I looked in the palm of my hand and I had pulled out 13 cents and a bus token.
Wow.
And I said to God, how is this possible? How can I be going to train for this job to make $40,000 to $60,000 a year?
Wow.
I've only been out of jail less than a week. I have no money. I have no food. I have no home. I have no clothing. And I have 13 cents and a bus token. How is this even possible? And God said to me, because one day when I take you to a place where you will make more money than you could ever count or spend, I want you to know that you are in the presence of the same God who was with you when you had 13 cents.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Promise you,
Wow.
that is the truth.
And I believe it. I really believe it. Thank you so much. I just don't have words that can explain that everything you said today, I lived through in my own life.
I believe it. I know you did. We all did right. But if we don't tell each other, we
Yeah.
think we're the only one. They'll use it against me. When it is the door, see, let me tell you what I believe. One of my speeches is called Get Away from the Wall Talk. You know, I kept that as a shame, embarrassed, hiding my face, hiding it under a bushel. That's what I did. I didn't let my light shine. Because I had no idea what it really all stood for, what it really all, the power within my story. I had no idea.
Yes.
Everything was designed to keep me from telling it, to get me to run from something instead of running towards something else.
Wow.
And you know what, Rosemary?
Yes.
Rosemary, everybody has
Yes.
this. Everybody has lived this. Everything you have ever gone through was to make you an authority so that you could stand up and say, I'm not talking about what I read. I'm not talking about what somebody told me. I'm not talking about what I think. I'm talking about what I know because I lived it. I know that room in this universe. I know what the carpet in that room feels like underneath my bare feet. I know the carpet of pain. I know what the walls are painted with, the colors of people telling you you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not handsome or pretty enough, you're not rich enough. That's what I know. We have all walked those same lonely hallways.
Yes. Wow. Wow. This is powerful.
We all have.
We have. Yes, definitely. And I shall say something really meaningful that I'm reading here.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, don't wait for the big opportunities. Embrace the common occasions and do it extraordinarily. Convert it extraordinarily. The weak, the weekend await for opportunities. The strongest created it.
Create them.
Yeah, create them.
Yes,
Wow.
absolutely right. Let me say this right here and now. You know what it is, everybody? Think about this. Think about this. This is the great equalizer. The great equalizer that makes the playing field even for all of us. Here it is. The odds of simply making it into this world, being born,
Yes.
the odds are 1 in 400 quadrillion.
Yes.
The greatest odds known to man is being born.
Yes.
Once you make it to the egg first, you don't need to try to beat odds any longer.
Amen.
As soon as you draw your first breath, your job is now to create odds. Give people something to reach up to. Give people something to look up to. Give people something to believe in.
Yes.
That's what it's all about.
Yes.
If somebody tells you, Rosemary, you know what? Rosemary, why are you trying to? I know you on that little TV show. You always write books, but do you know what the odds of becoming a world-renowned this is? It's 1 in. Stop what you're saying. Stop.
Exactly.
Stop. Turn it off. See, you know what? Because I already beat the greatest odds known to man. I'm here.
Amen.
And I intend to stay here.
That is right. Wow. 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 I should honor one of the audience person who wrote something very interesting last night in my Facebook page, and I'm just gonna take just 1 minute because I think with these words today I'm here, and that's the reason I'm here with you, Loren, giving this opportunity of a blessing to empower others with this program, with a person like you, and with many other invited guests that I have brought, and they have given their life, their stories, and their common sense. Because one thing that we should know is that every human being has common sense, but for a reason, because their destiny, it's what they are and where they belong. And this lady name is Sharon Bonilla. She says, Rosemary Sanchez, you're an amazing, beautiful, and lovely leader. Leadership and being a woman, you show the way we can do anything and be beautiful inside and out. Thank you for paving the way, sharing your story. You're one of a kind. Keep spreading the love, compassion, and care. It shows and reflects in you. Your word says, your words say it all along with your expression experience. You're incredible, inspiring in every way. Wow. And Lauren, why I say this with you is because this is what we're talking. You know how many people had neglected us. You know how many people had said, you don't belong. You don't live for good. All the things that happened to you, you deserve. But we are here to tell these people that are watching us. One day we were there. Today we're here. And like you said, you ask God, how come a man with only 13 cents and a bus ticket is gonna get a job of $40,000 to $60,000 and out of jail and out of a shelter just in 5 days got that?
Right.
Exactly, because the greatness of God upon you is the same that did that for you that day, and is the same that's doing right now what's doing to you and the exposure you've been given, and perhaps people who are watching and listening. So thank you. Thank you so much. I just can say that this opportunity for you to be here means a lot. I tear out. I'm sure that you saw it. And
Yep.
one of the things I admire that you're doing, and I shall say for people to listen, it's you have the power of we symposium.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell us about, because you're touching
Oh.
youth.
Yes.
You're not touching
Yeah.
adults who are grown up and
Nope.
already,
Nope.
getting rolling,
Nope.
rock and rolling. Is the
And
youth.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much for bringing that up,
Yes,
because
please.
this is for our kids of color. I'm not ashamed to say it. It's for our brown kids. It's for our black kids, because they need to see role models that look just like them. And so
Amen.
I take the power of We Symposium into areas of large cities, Atlanta and Chicago so far.
Yes.
Next year in
Australia.
April, we're headed to Australia for 15 days.
Wow.
We're going to do it there. We go and we celebrate. We love up on these young people. We take them into the power of we is never in a Marriott courtyard, like
Wow.
inside of a hotel. It's inside of a mansion. It's inside
Wow.
of the most opulent spaces, the places where our kids are told, you don't belong there. You will never go there. They walk a red carpet, because I want them, when they watch us do our photos and stuff on the step and repeat, and we're in our tuxedos, all of the speakers and stuff, they're looking through wrought iron gates outside of the mansion. They're watching us walk the red carpet. They watch the paparazzi take pictures of us. And all of us turn
Wow.
right around, walk back down the same red carpet, and we go out on the street where they're waiting in line. And we say, what do you think you just saw? And they say, we saw stars. We saw people. We saw you guys like people like movie stars. I said, well, you know what? We're just people just like you. We were you. What you
Wow.
go home to, I went home to. What you deal with in the dark, we dealt with in the dark. Let me tell you something. If you go inside this event, you walk down that red carpet, you may go in a stargazer, but you leave your mind and your heart open. You're going to come out of that building a trailblazer.
Wow.
You're going to leave that building empowered to go out and create a legacy and change the lives of everybody in your family that comes after you, just like the immigrants and the people in your family before you that made it possible for you to be here today.
Wow.
You are standing on their shoulders, and you are carrying the shoulders of generations to come on your own body.
Wow.
Now get in there and get ready to create your legacy. And we
Wow.
don't, they listen to the speakers, and then they sit there when it's lunchtime. We eat together. We turn the same chairs that they've been sitting in. We turn them in circles. The adults and everybody sitting there, we're eating, we're breaking bread, We're loving up on these kids, and we're sending them home, and we're letting them know. I don't care if you get pregnant at 14 years old. You one day may have a chain of daycare centers because you were given a baby at 14 because you give hugs and love better than any woman on your block, better than any woman in your town. You
Wow.
are a professional lover of children.
Amen to
Everything that happens to you can turn into some blessing. Let me tell you something. No one can ever take your blessing, Rosemary, and we cannot take anyone else's. Everything that happens to get you across the finish line of purpose.
that. Amen.
Because no matter what life does, no matter how it knocks you down, no matter how it hurts, we get knocked down on purpose, but we get back up on purpose.
Amen. Wow,
You
I
see
love
what I'm
it.
saying?
I
That's
love
how
it.
it has to work. That's right. That's right. So
Thank you so much, Loren. Our time is ended. And I'm
Now so
just gonna
fast.
say, yeah, it's so sad, but you know what? Thank you for the love, the support, the kind. If they want to reach you, how they will reach you? Let us know, just a website or somewhere where they can send love and they can send you,
Yes,
you know,
you can
a
go to
message.
my website, which is LorenMichaelsHarris.com, or you can go to powerofwesymposium.com. We would love to bring that event to your town for your kids. All you got to do is call me and ask me, or go to my Facebook page, Loren Michaels Harris or Loren Harris, and we're friends. You and I are friends on Facebook. If they're friends
Amen.
with you, they're friends with me.
For
So we can
sure.
find each other. If they can't find me, call Rosemary. She'll put you in touch with me and we'll talk.
Thank you so much, Loren. Thank you to all the audience Hablando Entre Mujeres. Gracias por estar aquí esta noche. Disculpen que fue todo en español, pero perdón, en inglés, pero bueno, esto es una noche que se lo merecía. Gracias una vez más, los vemos el próximo martes a las 7 de la noche aquí con Rosemary Sánchez y que todos sigan siempre emprendiendo porque tenemos y deseamos ser mejor.
También, Rose, antes de irnos, queríamos disculparnos por el internet. No sé qué sucedió, por eso se estaba quebrando un poco el video, pero el audio está perfecto. Si quieren volver a ver el video en su totalidad y en buena calidad, pueden ingresar a YouTube, a nuestro canal de YouTube de 2 en Línea TV. Ahí está saliendo en este momento en las pantallas nuestro YouTube. Ahí pueden ver todos los programas de Rosemary Sánchez Hablando Entre Mujeres con muy buena calidad. Por alguna situación que desconocemos y que se nos sale de las manos, se quebró muchísimo el internet. Puede ser el clima, puede ser el día y la hora, no sabemos, se nos sale de las manos. Mil disculpas, pero pueden ingresar a YouTube. Rosemary, muchísimas gracias.
Muchas gracias, Anita. Entonces ya saben, if you wanted to listen all this interview, the amazing interview with Loren Harris, just go to YouTube, to En Línea TV. We'll have all details in there for this program, and it won't be as breakable it was with the transmission. Unfortunately, the internet wasn't working or cooperating, but we know that if you want to be entitled to this program tonight, all you have to do is to go to YouTube and find to En Línea TV, Hablando Entre Mujeres, and you will see the interview with Loren Harris. Good night. Thank you to all.
Bye,
Blessings.
guys.
Bye-bye.
2 en Línea TV, tu nueva opción en radio online. Síguenos en redes sociales como 2 en Línea TV. Porque 2 es mejor que 1. Por eso ustedes y nosotros somos 2 en Línea. 2 en Línea TV, la nueva propuesta en radio digital.